The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guest do not reflect those of the host, the show, the management, and the network.
Hearts that listen, think, learn, and connect. Only here at PLC.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Coach Cesar. Good evening.
Hi, good evening sa lahat ng mga viewers natin sa Choose Family Chooseday. Good evening, Coach Senas. And tawag nito,
Greet natin yung mga viewers natin, Dad.
yes, sa lahat ng mga viewers, nakatingin kasi ako kanina sa si Coach Loretta kasi yung bumungad sa akin. Kaya,
Hello.
top of the mind, Top of the mind.
Yes. Good evening, Coach Loretta, and of course, daughter Sandy is in the chat room also. So hi,
Yeah.
Sandy.
And happy birthday kay Coach Aida, right?
Happy birthday, Coach Aida Manasan. Hello.
Hello.
To our mother
Yes.
in Talk Life channel.
Top Life Channel.
Yes, happy birthday. And we'd also like to greet our friends whom we visited in Cebu
Yep.
last week, no? Dad, ikaw yung maraming nakahalubilo last
Yes,
week.
so yung mga siya sa Golden Glory, sa team ni Yona Kwan.
Oo.
Okay, saka sa mga Quintanars family.
Hello, so
Yeah.
si Kuya June, sila
Kuya Boy.
Ate Yona.
Si Kuya Boy, and happy retirement, Kuya Boy. Okay.
Yes, and of course we also spoke to one of our previous guests, si Vince,
Yeah, si
So
Vince,
Vince Santa
si Coach
Elena,
Vince,
and we're
okay.
looking forward to having him
Yes.
again in the show, di ba,
Ang
Dad?
ganda ng mga exchange of
Oo.
ideas namin, comparing notes,
Comparing notes,
ang
and
ginawa
probably
namin.
planning for the next time that
Yeah.
he's gonna guest.
Yes.
Yes, looking forward to that, Dad.
We are blessed, to visit
Mm.
Cebu, Ang marami nating na-engage na mga
Mm-mm.
kaibigan doon, That was my first time, to fly, after the pandemic. Yeah.
And of course to my mom and to my sisters,
Yes.
So hi. Welcome to tonight's Choose Family Tuesday.
And sa mga last na lang, sa lahat ng mga bandolas, kasi
Yes.
nag-forward ako kanina
Oo, ang mga bandolas
sa Naga. Oo.
sa Talisay,
Okay, mga
and abroad.
mga family natin sa Dilsur. Okay,
Yes,
watching right now.
Quintanar also. So hello. Welcome to tonight's episode of Choose Family Tuesday. And tonight we're talking about self-compassion.
Yeah,
And
some
yes,
compassion.
and why is it very important in parenting?
Yes. Okay, so
Diba?
before kami mag-start, again, favor lang.
Mm.
Please share.
Please share the link, because we'd like to be able to reach to as many families and as many parents out there, And we'd like to also listen and hear from you, what you think
Yeah.
about what we're talking about tonight.
Yes.
Okay, so self-compassion. When you mentioned that, Mami, dapat siguro self-compassion ang pag-usapan natin next Tuesday.
Yes.
Parang never ko man na-hear pa yung self-compassion.
Yeah, ako
In
rin
all
eh.
honesty,
Yeah.
And it's been there na pala for several years na, Dad, no? Because
Yes.
it's always compassion that we hear about, right?
Oo, and parang tabu kasi pag sinabing self-compassion di ba? Because we are trained, the wiring is that para bang outside, no?
Outside.
Outside
So when
lang.
it's compassion, it's always about relating to the other.
Yes.
No, it's all about suffering with the other.
Yeah, kasi compassion, suffering with others.
With
With
the
the others.
Oo, no? So knowing about their failures and really that feeling of wanting to help.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
Dad.
indeed.
So, oo. So, yun ang alam natin na
Yes.
compassion. And it's really true.
Yeah,
No,
and
that is
ngayon, may
really what it
dinagdag
is.
na
Yeah.
self.
Self-compassion. Oo. So, first, let's talk about what compassion is all about. We actually spoke about that.
Mm-mm.
No, we actually said it's, suffering with the other. It's being sympathetic.
Yes,
No,
sympathetic.
and that
Mm-mm.
really that innate yung deep feeling of wanting to help.
Yes. Okay.
Okay?
Sige. Mm-mm.
No, and how do we usually show compassion, Dad?
Mm-mm. Ako
So,
naman,
for example, if there's a friend who's going through something.
Mm-mm. So yung manifestation or the act of compassion is syempre, no, kung may lumapit sa iyo, no, na kaibigan na nangailangan, no, maliban na sa pera. Okay. The general is ang ginagawa natin is syempre, no, you stop what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay, and no, you reach out, no, you listen.
That's very important.
You listen, ano ba yung concern, di ba?
Yes.
You acknowledge, no, ano ba yung
Just allow
concern.
that person to
Yes.
open up, to talk.
Yeah, to talk. So,
and actively listen lang talaga.
mm-mm.
No, and we mentioned that last
Oo.
week, no, during the last week's episode. How do we keep the Easter spirit alive? Diba? We said being there for the other person, not just being present, no, being attentive.
Itong sinasabi namin kasi, meron kasi ako nabasa, love, na ano daw, if you want to know who are your true friends, okay, magsumbong ka sa kanila ng problema mo.
And then,
okay, kasi yung mga true friends daw, yung mga true friends, nakikinig lang. Okay, nahayaan ka lang magsalita, di ba? Okay, yun lang, ear out. Pero yung mga hindi daw true friends, pag sinabi mo,
daming
ito
comment.
kasi, ayan, sinabi ko sa iyo di ba? O, ayan
Sabi ko
na,
sa'yo.
di ba? O, ayan, tingnan mo. Diba?
Kung sa Bisaya, pamirisi.
Pamirisi mo, di ba? Nalintir ka na. Diba? But again, yun daw yung mga simple test of friendship daw yan.
Yeah.
Kasi yung mga friends talaga, wala lang. No? We just
So,
listen.
it's actually, it's really giving full attention.
Yes. Oo. Kaya nga, yung summary word is listen. Yung listening na word kasi is, kung i-rumble mo yan, being silent. Okay, so that the person can express ano ba yung gusto niya, and without judgment.
Yeah,
without
but
judgment.
it's always a challenge, no? Kasi minsan, yun nga sinasabi mo, no, na we'd always like to be able to comment, no? Or offer solution right away.
Because
diba? Or make that person feel good right away.
Yeah, develop kasi ang wiring natin again, no? The muscle memory is we listen to respond. Not we listen to understand. Okay? So
but yung natural talaga is to respond.
Respond.
Diba? And minsan, diba? Minsan yun ang source ng away namin ng mga bata kasi when they open up right away, meron akong nako-comment or ikaw merong nako-comment, no? But what they really need is somebody to listen lang pala talaga, di ba? And sometimes with all good intention, we always right away try to make the other person who is going through something feel good or forget about the pain, di ba?
Yes.
Parang hindi naman ganyan kasama yung pinagdadaanan mo ngayon, no? Hindi naman ganun kahirap yun, kaya mo naman yun. Ganyan, no? And while, we'd like, the intention is really to make the other person feel good, no? Gusto natin siyang, get out of that depression, no? Or that feeling of sadness. Actually pala, ang ginagawa natin dyan, Dad, is invalidating.
Wow.
Parang ine-erase natin yung feeling, hindi natin ina-acknowledge. And
kasi
that makes
concept,
it even worse.
Kasi ang based on what you're saying kasi is para bang concept dyan, para bang lumapit sa sayo, she's on fire.
Yeah.
Diba? Tayo tubig kaagad. Diba? Gusto nating kaagad i-off yung niya. Diba? Pero what we're saying right now is pala siya, no? Parang hindi siya appropriate.
So it's really also balancing kasi sabi mo nga, nandiyan maharap sa iyo, no? He is on fire, 'di ba? So wag naman buhusan ka agad ng tubig, 'di ba? But actually we also need to balance it such that let's not fuel it also.
Yep.
'Di ba? Allow it to, allow him lang to express or let it out.
Kasi yun na nga. Mayroon akong one of the slides I do my talks. Mayroon akong doon, may bahay na sa sunog, yung isa, okay, may dala siyang bucket. So I let the audience guess, ano yung dala niya? Okay, so water daw. Pero sabi ko minsan sa atin, instead of bringing water,
Mm-mm.
you're also, okay, bringing fuel to the fire.
No, dagdag.
Yeah, dagdag.
Dinagdagan mo tuloy yung yung suffering, no?
Yeah,
But of course, with all, it's really supposedly with good intention, pero we have to be conscious, no,
Yes.
of what we are saying as well.
That intention is to be compassionate, right? But yun na nga, the process minsan, no? You have to be reminded na may mga right ways of doing things.
Yes. How else are you showing compassion? No? All right. So, ayan, I'm seeing your cousin there.
Yeah.
Cecil. Hello, Cecil Niere.
At saka si Melanie Lourdes Llanes, no? Hi.
Yes.
No? Yung mga natin,
Oo.
mga cousins from Malita. Okay.
Yeah, no. So,
From
thank you
Argao,
for tuning
watching.
in. No? Okay, another way of showing, so we said listen, and another is yung parang, 'di ba, normally when somebody is going through something, anong ginagawa natin? Pinapat natin, 'di ba? Ganyan. Or minsan if it's appropriate, we give that person a hug, 'di ba?
So, wag yung tulak Okay.
Yung
hindi, no? Di ba? Top love daw yan.
Parang tapping. No,
Okay.
tapping or yung touch talaga, no? So,
nawala yan during the pandemic. Bawal mag-touch. Bawal mag-touch.
Baka ngayon pwede na slowly.
Yeah.
Or ganyan na lang, yung fist bump na lang. Okay ka lang ba?
Okay ka lang
Basta sa
ba?
fist lang, hawag ko na. No? So, that's one way of showing. Parang physical. No? And then, third is also yung positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Diba? After they have expressed already what went on and what happened and all. No? So, encouragement. No? So, you're pwedeng sabihin, alam ko may pinagdadaanan ka. Alam ko mahirap ang pinagdadaanan mo ngayon. Pero, I just want to assure you, malalampasan mo din yan.
Kaya nga ang word is,
nandito lang din kami.
Kaya nga alam daw ang word is pinagdaanan. Dadaan ka lang dyan.
So, hindi siya permanent.
Okay ha?
Yes.
Alam ito. So, dadaan lang tayo doon.
Correct. Yeah, I'm seeing Brother Ryan, America. Hello, Brother Ryan.
Yes, Brother Ryan.
Hello, good evening. Yes, and then, so we're saying now, diba? So we defined already compassion. Okay, so what then is self-compassion?
Yeah, i-relate natin ngayon sa self.
Diba? So diba, when we are seeing another person going through a very difficult time, we show compassion by treating that person with so much kindness. Diba? And now,
and di ba, being a parent kasi, parenting, di ba, very challenging job yan. Di ba? 24/7.
Yes. So self compassion, that is also actually, showing yourself kindness when you are going through difficulties, failures, challenges.
Okay.
Di ba? So the same way that you treat the other, no? You also treat yourself with kindness. Diba yung usually pinapakita natin, we're so focused on making the other person feel good.
Yes.
Diba? And it's good. It's good because that's a Christian duty, diba?
Way of doing things
But
natin.
What is the tendency? We neglect ourselves. Diba?
Yeah. And yun na nga, love, no? Mayroon kasi tayong dyan yung bang nakasanayan na pag parang you pamper yourself, you take care of self, parang especially sa parents, di ba? Kasi ang parents talaga is nurturing tayo di ba? Sa mga bata, no? Sabi nga nila, di ba? Isusubo mo na, ibibigay mo na, di ba? Ibibigay mo pa kasi yun na, we take care, but we forgot that tayo yung breadwinner, di ba? Tayo yun when something happened to us, di ba? Kasi we failed also to provide self-compassion.
Let's just mention some reference here that when you talk about self-compassion, there's this parang expert talaga when you talk about self-compassion. This is Dr. Kristen Neff.
Yeah.
No, and she has defined self-compassion as the kindness and care that you give to yourself as you would to a friend. Diba?
Simple lang, diba?
Very simple lang talaga. Diba? So if you're kind to your friend who is going through something, then you should be as kind to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, and why is
do
that
unto
important?
others, ano yan? Para bang ano, no? As you want to do others, do unto you.
Ang isa ding ang
Yeah.
iniisip ko din dyan, you cannot give what you do not have. So if you are not compassionate with yourself, no, it's very
So,
difficult to be able to give it to others as well.
very nice,
No?
insight,
So,
no?
yan.
Na yun na nga, minsan kasi, wala nakalimutan natin na the love must be coming from us. Care must be coming from us.
Correct, correct. Oo. Now, there are actually components, 3 elements of compassion, self-compassion, Dad.
Okay,
No? So,
sige.
First,
Isa-isahin natin.
yes, no, first is self-kindness.
Okay.
Ayan, dyan yan sa ano mo. Self-kindness versus self-judgment.
Okay, so anong difference nila?
Okay? Kasi minsan tayo, we are very critical of ourselves, di ba? So for example, ay nako, bakit hindi ko kaya to? Or kasi hindi ko I was not paying attention, no? Ang ano ko, I'm so tanga or something like that, di ba? So yeah, so that's self-judgment. Right away you criticize yourself, you put yourself down, di ba? Whereas
ang danger niyan daw kasi, love, no, to add, ang danger kasi when you become judgmental, or you are triggering something, ano yun? Tinitrigger mo daw yung ano mo, yung flight or fight within you.
Yeah.
And ang mangyayari niyan, it causes stress.
Yeah. Self-kindness pala, Dad, is actually accepting that you are human. So since you are human, then you go through failures, no? May pwede kang magkamali, pwede kang matalo, pwede kang maghirap din, no? And these are, you have to accept that. And if you're able to accept that, then you now treat yourself kindly. Diba? Because nobody actually is perfect. Nobody is exempted from failure.
Yes.
Right? So meron talagang no? So once you're able to accept that, then you will be kinder to yourself.
Yes. Pumasok lang kasi sa isip ko yun na kasi sanay nga tayo, we're being mindset na you can do all things. Di ba? Okay.
Hindi tayo, pero
what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. Pero yun na there's a component pala.
Oo, meron ganon. So, ang tendency kasi natin, it's a very competitive world out there, no? And so we expect too much of ourselves. Now, as parents, ganon din, di ba? Parang we'd like to be able to do everything. And that's very natural for us, but we also need to accept that there are limitations.
Yeah. Ang word na, I just want to put label doon sa sinabi ni Consenas. Minsan kasi, okay, remember, parenting, hindi perfecting. Okay? Kasi yun nga sino namang parent na hindi gusto magiging maganda? Pero extreme kasi perfection yung gusto natin. And sabi ko, there's no such thing as perfection. No, may mga ups and downs parenting talaga. And wala namang school na nag-offer ng parenting. Di ba? It's a process, it's a learning process.
Yes.
It's a learning process. So, be kind to yourself.
So, if we indulge in self-judgment, then definitely, ang resulta niyan, stress talaga.
Yes.
Diba? Or, palagi kang magiging frustrated sa mga hindi mo na-accomplish. No? Oo. However, if you indulge in self-kindness, then you are being more gentle. No? You are able to cope with stress.
Yeah. Parang yin and yan, no? Hindi ka lang talaga nakafocus doon sa black, no? Isa balance dapat, no? Sa balance mo sa reading. Good point, no? Good point.
All right, so that's one element, no? That's one element of self compassion. Another element of self compassion is common humanity.
Yes.
Versus isolation.
Okay.
Ano yun, di ba? Minsan sinasabi natin, ang malas ko naman talaga. Bakit ako palagi ang
One in a million.
Oo,
diba?
Malas. Ako lang palaging target ng mga problema, di ba? Ako lang talaga recipient ng lahat ng stresses, ng problema.
Ikaw na.
Oo, di ba?
Sana all.
No, but it's really also accepting that because you're human, there are also people around you are also human.
You are part of the humanity.
Yes.
Common humanity.
And being human, you are mortal, subject to suffering, subject to pain, subject to mistakes, failures, no? So yan, and you are vulnerable, that's what we're saying.
Yes.
And again, we go back to, you are not perfect, just like the others are not perfect.
Yes.
Diba? And with that knowledge and acceptance, then you would also accept, hindi lang pala ito na sa akin lang nangyayari. There are also other people suffering.
Kasi
just
tayo,
like me,
again,
diba?
Ako naman, meron akong pumasok na naman sa isip ko eh. Sabi kasi natin, para bang, do not compare yourself with others.
Yeah.
Diba? Pero yung, dapat pala, hindi naman comparison to eh.
Oo.
Parang accepting that, no?
Yes.
It's part of ano talaga, no? Life na ups and downs talaga yan, di ba? One of our mga talks dito, no? Di ba? Ganun ang heartbeat eh. It's up and down. Kasi pag hindi na yan tataas, bababa, pag steady na yan, delikado yan. RIP yan. Di ba? You rest in peace na. Di ba? Kaya it's a symbol, no? That our life is full of ups and downs.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, so it's actually, recognizing that all those negative things that we happen to us, it's a shared experience with other human beings.
Yeah. And it's not exaggerated.
It's not exaggerated. Ano yan? Normal yan, di ba?
Yeah.
And so, with that shared
mas
feeling...
abnormal siguro kung wala, no? Mas abnormal kung wala kang
pathetic
ganun.
na yan, wala kang nafe-feel.
Okay, so pag wala kang experience na ganun, magduda ka na.
You should worry.
Kurutin mo yung sarili mo. You're not human anymore.
Okay, so let's compare knowing that that is a shared human experience versus thinking that you are suffering alone. What will give you a better coping or better feeling?
Nag-iisip ako lang.
Daddy!
Downloading. Come on.
Diba when you... Dad.
Hindi kasi naisip ko tungkol na isolation kasi.
Yeah, so isolation is when you think that you're suffering alone.
Yeah.
Diba? So it makes things even worse. Ang mga problema mo lumalaki tuloy kasi feeling mo ikaw lang nagsasuffer ng ganyan eh. Diba? So, but however, when you realize and you accept, meron din palang iba na nagsasuffer just like me. Yes. Or others also go through the same thing.
Yep.
Diba? So parang you cannot actually say unfair naman talaga, bakit ako lang palagi? Oo,
unfair
diba?
ka talaga, Lord. Diba? Palagi na lang, bakit? Okay, ito ha? Ako, Lord, grabe. Madalas ako sa simbahan, di ba? Okay, grabe yung tulong ko sa ibang tao. Pero yung kapitbahay ko na hindi nga marunong pumunta sa iyo, ang biniblas mo. Di ba? Hindi. Kasi yun di ba? Parang part of we tinitingnan natin kagad sa labas. But again, no, God has reason. Di ba? Which reason cannot understand naman So, going back to isolation, para yun na nga Do not isolate yourself. Do not isolate. Okay.
Yeah, do not think that you are so privileged na ikaw lang talagang nagkakaproblema. Ano yun? Ganun ka-special.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But really, it actually makes the burden lighter. Diba? Knowing that somebody else is actually sharing it.
Yes.
Diba?
And sometimes mas grabe pa yung problema nila. Diba? Bigger than yours.
It doesn't make us feel better that their problems are worse, but it actually, assures us na hindi lang ikaw.
Yeah.
Hindi lang ikaw. Diba? So, yan. The third tawag nito, element of self-compassion is actually mindfulness.
Yes. What
mindfulness
is mindfulness
versus over-identification.
Bago itong mindfulness. Lagi kong narinig yan.
Yeah. Mindfulness is actually having a receptive mind, no?
Okay.
Being fully aware of, your thoughts. What are you feeling? How are you reacting? No, both mentally and physically. Yan. So being really totally self-aware.
What's going on?
Yes.
Internally, externally.
So therefore, with that, we are being able to balance the approach towards negative emotions. Okay, so kasi na-foresee mo na So kung ganito ang nangyayari, ganito ang response ko usually, no? So how am I going to cope with it? So
Yeah.
ganyan siya. No, rather than really just giving on to impulses or reflexes.
Yeah.
No, no. And syempre pag ganyan, very volatile, 'di ba? Automatic yung mga reaction, 'di ba? But when you're mindful,
Mm-mm.
you are more
So,
aware.
Yeah. So, is it, kasali din dito yung mindfulness is, alam mo yung mga triggers mo.
Yes.
Yes, no? Mga trigger mo.
Oo. And then, how are you going to manage it?
Yeah.
Diba? But it also does not mean na you are going to suppress or, diba, itatago mo. But it's really acknowledging. Okay, so,
Yeah.
okay, mainit ang ulo ko ngayon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what am I going to do about
Mhm.
it? Diba? So, ganyan. Alright? Versus over-identification, which is like magnifying it na parang, doon ka nagfo-focus sa mali or
Yeah.
doon ka nagfo-focus sa negative. Diba? So, lalong mas na ano siya, mag-magnify and so therefore mas malaki ang impact sa'yo.
Yeah. Kasi tayo, again, no, we are wired to yung pain and gain. Mas ganahan taong pain. Di ba? But dapat nakafocus tayo sa gain. No? The positive thing, wag yung pain palagi. Pain points daw yan eh. Pain points palagi.
While we are not saying that we will ignore pain. Of course, no, pain is there to be felt.
Yes.
And it's good because, you know, it allows us also again to be in touch with our humanity or being human, humanness. No? So, but being mindful now actually gets you to be more self-aware, no? What is your response to pain?
Yes.
Diba?
Okay.
So, yan. So,
And kapag ano yan, i-relate ko ang mindfulness kasi it will also connect to motivation. Kasi ayokong maghirap kasi ang hirap talaga maging mahirap. Diba? Naranasan ko na yan eh. Ganito. Pero pag gain daw lang, ayokong maghirap kasi gusto ko makatulong sa iba. Yung mga ganon. So, it's a positive thing daw dapat.
Yeah, okay. So again, we're saying, no, when you are practicing mindfulness, by the way, this is not very easy, Dad.
Yes.
It takes practice. And it takes also focus. So, yan. But, you know, we can start with small things, no? It allows us to be focused and be able to cope rather than being, you know, what's this, distracted, no? Yung dun, nalulunod ka na sa lahat ng negative feelings.
Yeah.
No? Yan. So, can we just go through that again? We the three elements of self-compassion.
Yes.
No? So we said self-kindness versus self-judgment.
Okay.
And
Bawal
then
judgmental.
second is common humanity versus isolation.
Yeah.
And there is mindfulness versus over-identification. All right. No, so yun, no. So with all those three elements, kindness, mindfulness, and humanity, humanness, no. So yun talaga ang parang factors yan siya, no. So so that you will be able to practice self-compassion.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go back now to how is this very important to us being parents.
Being parents. Okay. Bakit importante sa mga parents na katulad namin?
Natin.
Natin pala. Mali naman yung Tagalog.
Yeah, why?
Okay. No? Siguro, no? Because parents nga, no? We are also the mirror. Diba? Sa ating mga anak. Okay. Ano nakikita nila? Sinusunod nila yan. Diba?
Okay.
Sinusunod ng mga bata yan.
Yes. Pause muna tayo sandali. Merong mga comments dito, no? Coming from Cecil Niera. Hello, Cecil.
Ay, Cousin.
Hello, hello. Yes, and we are also seeing
love you.
Coach Loretta, true parenting is a learning process. Totoo talaga, Coach. You know, we have kids who are very, you know, mature na, pero you know, every day is still a learning opportunities for us. No? And then Coach Beng. Hello, Coach Beng. Good evening. Ganon, buhay, ups and downs. Yes. Ups and downs. Parang boring naman talaga palagi kung up. Boring naman, Coach Beng, kung puro naman up, di ba? So, ganun yun. May spice sa buhay.
Yes.
Right? No? So, yeah, I think we can pause for a while lang, Dad. No? So
ayoko.
So that when we come back,
so
that when we come back, let's talk about why it's very important to parent.
Wag mag-change the channel.
Self-compassion. See you. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Minasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings from God subhanahu wa ta'ala be with us all. Halal came from Arabic word meaning lawful, meaning permissible, meaning allowable. All things, tangible and intangible, that are pleasant in the eyes of God subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we people will benefit mentally, physically, spiritually. It's a way of life, not just for food, not just for Muslims, but for all mankind. Philippine Halal Trade and Tourism Expo is under the umbrella of Universal Islamic Center. UIC was founded year 2000, and I started advocating promoting halal trade and tourism way back 2016. I'm so happy to invite you all to our annual event, Philippine Halal Trade and Tourism Expo on May 27, 28, 29, 2022 at Abrisa Mall, Davao City. See you there!
Hello, we're back.
We're back.
Oo,
Okay, so ano yung ano natin kanina? Gusto nating balikan.
Ano yun?
Yung
Yung elements?
O how, di ba? Yung how.
How?
Yung ano, yung tanong mo kanina before tayo.
Oh, yeah. So,
Mm.
how is self-compassion important to parenting?
Yes.
It's actually very, very, very important. No, we cannot overemphasize no how self-compassion is important. Although we just discovered this, no, but when I read through it, sabi ko, totoo naman talaga, di ba? Kasi lahat tayo ngayon, no, we're going through difficult times, especially now. In the past 2 years, it has been doubly difficult talaga. And more difficult when you're a parent.
Yes.
Okay? No, so even without the pandemic, it's actually very difficult to be a parent, di ba? And so therefore, self-compassion can really play, can actually make a difference.
Yep.
All right?
Agree.
So, di ba, many times, nagko-complain tayo, sobrang busy ako sa bahay, ang dami kong labahin. I'm looking at my sala, it's so messy. Ang messy ng bahay, ang dami ko pang hugasin after the show.
Yes.
Diba? So, ang dami nating complaints, no? And minsan, sinasabi
Walang
na,
katulong.
walang katulong, 6 months na.
Dito naman ako eh. Sorry.
Diba? But, these are things that, we suffer.
Yeah.
Suffered when we are parents, no? And so therefore self-compassion actually can come in so that you'll be able to cope.
Yes.
Right? No? So ayan. So it says here that nurturing oneself helps, no, so that you will be better able to cope with all the stresses, no, and the demands of parenting. Again, babalik tayo dun sa you cannot give what you do not have.
Yep.
Diba? So, how are we able to take care of our family and our children, no, if you are not taking care of yourself?
Totoo.
Okay?
Totoo.
No? And you are not treating yourself kindly.
Yep.
Diba? So, paano naman ang mga bata pag ganun? Or
Yep.
ang spouse mo
Ang
kung
spouse
ganun?
mo. Yep. Agree.
Right? No? So, how is self-compassion, going to impact your parenting? Number one, ang stress levels mo definitely bababa. Di ba? Ang daming stress kaya as a parent. Tama ba, Dad?
Agree.
Ngayon, stressed ka.
Yeah, kanina, I to share with you a life experience because I've been, a weekend, I was in Cebu, for 3 days, Then, kanina, may 2 days training kami, di ba? Nagkandak ako ng training sa isang company. And tomorrow, I'm preparing again, for sabi niya sa akin kanina, di ba? Yan, kasi, di ba, ikaw naman yung nagmamanage ng time mo
You have a choice.
You have a choice. Pero siyempre, sabi ko naman, no, na mayroong mga, may mga schedule kasi ng mga clients natin. But true enough, no, yun, yung self-care. Kaya ako kanina, ang ginawa ko, bumaba ako, di ba, nauna ako, sabi ko, just give me 10 minutes, di ba, or 15 minutes, I have to, compose myself. No? So I was here in this room, no, nakatikit lang, and, no, yung you just have to, calm yourself, di ba? Kasi yun na nga, kung kakayaan mo yung stress level mo, di ba? So I was just dito nakaupo lang ako kanina hanggang dumating si Coach Senas. And yun.
Dumating na maganda.
Yeah, loves ko yan Okay, but at least yun di ba? Yung point na very concrete talaga, no, na example na yan. You have to nurture yourself kasi kung binabayaan ko kanina na naman, di ba? Na stress na naman ako, ganyan. So you just have to pause. Diba? Minsan. Self-care yun Self-care mo. And sabi na ni Coach Seras, mindfulness. Alam mo na ito na yung trigger mo. Diba? So, huwag mong hayaan. Huwag mong hayaan na manalo sa sayo. So, yun.
I just remember the conversation that we had with Coach Jerry this morning.
Yep.
When we had coffee together, di ba?
Coach Jerry Tubo. Yung kasama
yung
namin sa
isang
Mondays.
host natin for yung HR Stewards on Mondays, no? So, and we, I was starting to complain na na parang ang daming labahin. I need to the laundry. We need to fold them so that ma-distribute na sa rooms and all. But buti kung konti lang, but it's like a mount talaga parang mini mountain na dito na sa So it's so much to deal with in the morning. But when I heard him say, we have the same problem in the morning, no? So we rush in the morning, sabi ni Coach Jerry. Kami nga din, ilang months na kaming walang katulong, no? So kami lang, no? And we deal with these things in the evening na. So parang naman ako, okay, so we are not alone pala. Hindi lang pala tayo ang nahirapan sa sitwasyon natin
kung
ngayon.
Kung kayo sa amin, isulat nyo nga. Diba? Mag-comment nga kayo dyan.
Diba?
Para naman malaman namin.
Yes. So, ganyan. So, I felt a bit okay.
Totoo. And dyan yung talk namin kanina, nag-share din siya. Sa experience sa bahay talaga. Very challenging talaga. Very challenging.
And we have to remember that our state of mind, no, when we are not able to manage our state of mind, it actually impacts our children.
Yes.
No? So, yan. So, pag we are not able to, again, manage that, no? So, you will see the impact when they grow up.
Totoo. And sabi nga dito daw is, if you want how your children to act, dapat yun din yung gagawin mo. Kasi yun nga, mirroring Mirroring. Nakita nila yung ginagawa ng parents.
Sometimes when we do that unconsciously, di ba, tayong mga parents, unconscious tayo yung ginagawa natin when we are so hard on ourselves, yung minsan nagkakamali tayo pero hindi natin napapatawad sarili natin, di ba? Tapos paulit-ulit sinasabi, yun ine-express natin, naririnig ng bata.
Yeah.
Ganun pala yun. Hindi pala pwede magkamali. So they also tend to be very, tawag nito, diba? Unforgiving
diba?
Of themselves.
Parang sinasabi nga natin dyan, Lavis, don't take yourself so seriously. Parang ganun, di ba? Ang sinasabi natin. Yun, parang ang ko ngayon is, forgive yourself. Di ba? Forgive yourself. And sabi nga natin, try again. No? I was reading sa notes ko. No? May chance na, di ba? Just like the sun rises from the east. Di ba? So every day, meron na naman, di ba? May pag-asa pa naman next day.
Yeah.
Di ba? Life must go on.
Yeah.
Diba?
I just like to mention lang that self-care is a way also of expressing self-compassion, but actually when you think about it, it's really totally different. No, because self-care is what you do when you take a break.
Okay.
Diba? Take a break from all the stresses, no, or from all the difficulties. Sabihin mo, okay, I need a break. I want some me time. Okay, so that's self-care. And that's also good, no? You pause, all right? But self-compassion, you can actually practice that even at the height of difficulty.
Yeah.
Even at, even in your lowest times, no, you can actually practice it.
Yes.
Okay, example, very simple example. Like, di ba, who has small children out there?
Maraming comments ha, may basahin natin.
Sige, basahin natin ito. So, for example, yung children, yung mga toddlers, di ba, usually, yan? Nagtatatantrums. Anong Tagalog dyan, Dad?
Tantrums.
Sumpong? Sumpong ba?
Yeah, sumpong.
Oo, di ba? So, they tend to cry, no? Iiyak yan in front of, especially pag nasa mall. Yun talaga.
Yeah. Because, they want to get something.
They want to ask for something, di ba? So, iiyak, sisigaw. Sometimes they will, tawag nito, they will fall
Shake, rattle, and roll.
They will roll on the floor and cry, di ba? So, minsan, parang nakakahiya din as parents, di ba? So, how you deal with that, sometimes with compassion, parang, it's all about thinking na, okay, this is a very difficult time for me. No, I'm starting to feel very embarrassed, and that is, by the way, mindfulness. But you also can do some self-talk. I can do this.
Yes.
No, I can manage my kid. No, yun. So, and when you are doing that, kasi nakikita din ng anak mo kung how you are managing.
Witnessing to.
Tawag yan, Dad, mirror neurons daw. Kasi syempre, yung connection mo sa bata, di ba? So, nafe-feel niya na yung neurons, yung thinking neurons mo, parang naaano mo din sa kanya.
Transmit.
Natatransmit. Ganyan. No, so, it's actually because they observe how you react.
Yes.
No, so yan. And so, when they grow up also, they are better able to manage. All right. So yan those are very typical examples, no? So or for example, ang dami mong platong huhugasan. And 'di ba pag you're so tired, ito dishwasher.
Trabaho ko
So
yan.
when you're so tired and you look at nakita mo yung sink, gabundok ang platong kailangan mong hugasan.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So the tendency is for you to say, ako lang palagi naghuhugas.
Yeah. Kasi,
isolation.
Yeah.
Diba?
Ako lang may third eye. Ako lang nakakita ng mga ganung bagay. Kasi yung iba hindi nakikita. Ako lang talaga.
So you're very mindful. Kasi nakikita mo, di ba? But it's also a way of practicing, di ba? Dad, na-notice mo ba? I don't know if you do that, but pag naghuhugas ako, minsan, di ba, gusto mo, ako na maghugas, sabihin mo sa akin. That's I tell you, no, Daddy, I want to do this. Diba? It's because it allows me to think. Allows me to think, diba? Minsan, diba, makita mo din mga bata when they, kumakanta sila, diba? So, yan. Mindfulness. No? So, it's also accepting si Coach Jerry din naghuhugas din ngayong gabi.
Relate kami ni Jerry. Shared kami ni Roy. Coach Roy Daligdig. Yan, sila ni Caps Alex. Yan, mga kaibigan ko yan, no? Meron kaming round table dyan. Anyway, basahin natin yung mga
marami ng comments on the chat, no? Jel, if you can share, I think we can start with Coach Beng ba? Yan, self-love.
Yeah.
Is self-compassion. Yes, thank you for that, Coach Beng. And saying, wala din akong kasambahay. 2 years na. Nakakapagod mo. Yes, I can relate. Nakaka-stress niya. Good thing may hobby na nakasuporta sa gawaing bahay. Kasama niyang siyang na-stress.
Yeah, kami, ganon din.
Yeah, self-awareness, take chance of knowing your limits. Mahirap sumabog. Yes, correct. Now, so that is also what self-compassion is all about. Being mindful of how you think, how you react, how the body reacts.
Yung tawag, threshold. Di ba? Kung
tolerance of
pain. Dito na eh. Alam mo na nasasabog ka eh. So, yan. So, oops. Break muna. And sabi nga, I was reading, sabi nga doon, it's not bad. Mag-pause ka lang talaga. Iwan mo lang. Okay.
Oo. Sabi ni Coach Ben, buti my kids daw hindi nagtatantrum sa mall. Di ko yata na-experience nung mga ungaw sila.
Yeah.
Oo. Yeah. May mga may mga episodes na umiiyak. Minsan like they want to go home. They're tired. Ganyan.
Kahit di minsan napagbigyan at may dugtong.
Okay.
Sabi, husband ko din, Coach Sisoy, magaling wow. Palakpakan natin yung mga husband na magaling.
I have yet to see him cook.
Okay. Kasi ako noon, magaling ako magluto. Ngayon nakalimutan ko
Noon?
na eh. Oo.
Hindi rin nakakalimutan.
Tinituro sa akin ng mama ko eh. Magaling maglisang house, matuto rin magluto. Wala na siya choice. Yeah.
Yes, no? So thank you for your comments, Coach Beng. No? So ayan, no? So tuloy natin.
Yes, tuloy natin.
Yeah, so yan, mindfulness, no? So noticing again, no, your reactions, no? Triggers or how am I feeling right now?
Yes.
No? So ayan, so while doing things around the house. That's very important.
Yeah.
All right? And yeah. So for example lang, naghuhugas ka and then how do you do it? You try to do some breathing exercise. Okay? So parang feel mo daw dad na nagbe-breathe ka while hinuhugas yung plato. Wash in, wash out.
Wash out.
Diba? It's so you breathe in. No, and then pati yung breathing out, it's actually breathing out also the stresses. So, diba, can you imagine meditating while washing?
Wow.
No, so yeah, that's one way also of coping. Diba? And so therefore, when you are able to do this, you are calm, you are more calm. All right, more gentle. Diba? Kailangan ko yata ma-practice talaga to, Dad.
Yes, likewise, no? Minsan talaga, no, I'm happy that ito yung topic din na napili namin kasi it reminds us of something, no, na mayroon palang mga, may mga bagay na pwede palang, ganito yung gagawin mo. The actions, the choice of actions na mayroon palang ganito. And noon kasi, alam ko na yan, but hindi talaga thorough, walang in-depth eh. But now, no, kami, nag-research kami, and no, nakita namin na, and we want to share this with other parents.
Yes.
Meron tayong choice pala. It's a choice. You cannot choose the stimulus, but you can choose your responses.
You can choose your response. Correct, no? So, may isang tip din, magic in the mundane, no? So, for example, yung mga, when you're starting to feel stressed na, or medyo there's too much already, try to focus on small things.
Just like what?
Like, for example, again, we're going back to washing the dishes kasi yun talagang stress mo. Other than feeding the dogs.
Hindi ko yan stress kasi yung trabaho ko sa bahay, sa college kami, no?
So, actually, Dad, what you can do, example daw is to...
nagsawa na lang kasi ako. Tagal ko nang ginagawa yan eh. Hanggang ngayon, ganito pa rin. Diba?
You can actually start to read the instructions. Let's say sa washing, sa dishwashing liquid. May instructions ba yun?
Meron.
So, ganyan. Parang, lang. Para lang maano yung thoughts mo, di ba? Ma-relax. And all. And we can actually learn from kids. Yes. Di ba? Sometimes kids focus on very small things.
Yes.
No? So we can also learn from them. And it actually, as you can see, ang mga bata, no? Parang, they're so relaxed, no? Because it allows them time to think. Yes. Yung ganyan.
And ito yung sa mga defaults again sa parents. Ako kumusta? Yung commando technique. Commando. Ano yung commando technique? Di ba? Yung ikaw na yung gagawa. I-command and you do. Di ba?
Stress ka na naman. Isip ka na
I'm just telling, I'm telling dapat aware ka niyan. Because yun nga, you have to tell your kids to do it. Diba? To do it. Wag yung, minsan kasi ayaw natin na matagal na, di ba? But again, it causes you stress. Okay?
All right. Are we still okay, Jel? Or naghang tayo? Naghang ba tayo?
Yes.
Baka ang signal lang natin.
Yes, na-stress yung signal namin. Kaya naghang siya.
Are we okay, Jel? Okay, so let's just continue, Dad, no? So, so what we're trying to say here is that when we practice self-compassion, you are being calmer, more mindful of the things that you feel and things around you, diba?
And indeed,
less anxious.
And indeed, Jesus Christ, diba? Dun sa sa ministry niya, diba? Pagpagod siya, nagre-rest, di ba? Nagpe-pray, di ba? Yun ang niya eh. So, may example talaga na hindi pwedeng tuloy-tuloy lang. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Kasi you have also to practice self, talaga. Compassion.
Yeah, and it also allows you to be more optimistic about things.
Yes.
Diba? So kasi all these things actually, there's a physiologic thing kasi that happens also inside us, diba? Yung more secretion. I think that's the term. Secretion of oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
So oxytocin is the feel-good hormone.
Yeah, feel-good hormone.
Diba? And it makes you, it increases your feelings of trust,
happiness,
safety, yan, feeling of safety, diba? So,
ang negative is serotonin, right? Diba? Yun yung mga negative naman. No, na yun na nga, pag yun naman ang mataas ang release, syempre na stress ka, napapagod ka kaagad kasi yun ang hinahayaan mo
Yeah. And as parents really need as much stress relief tools as possible.
Yeah.
Diba? So this is one way of really practicing it.
So,
diba?
Baka may kayo dyan, may mga routines kayo, pa-share naman dyan. Diba? Pag may mga triggers, anong ginagawa ninyo? Kaagad, pa-share. Para matuto tayo dito.
Yes, no? So, for example, no, like, when you are very critical of yourself, diba? Parang, ang taba-taba ko na ngayon.
Yes.
So, the way to cope it is saying, sila din mataba?
Yeah. Si Caps Jerry nga kanina, nag-share siya, di ba? Kasi mga babae, very critical yan di ba?
Yes.
Lalabas siya, nagtusot ng damit. Okay ba yung damit ko? Di ba? Si Caps Jerry daw, ginagawa niya. So, once lang talaga, okay na okay!
Yun lang. Wala nang extra.
Para wala na ng stress kasi kung sabihin mo na hindi okay, babalik yan sa loob. Tapos lalabas na naman, magtatanong na naman, okay na yung ko, di ba? Dating ko, gano'n, di ba? Sabi niya, avoid stress. Yun ang ginagawa niya. So,
dapat truthful din.
Kinakontrata niya mga anak niya. Sabi niya, pag lumabas si mama, sabi niya, okay ka agad ha? Kasi ang tagal-tagal na stress tayo, malili tayo.
Hello po, Mrs. Tobo. Yeah, diba? Right. So itong pinag-usapan natin ngayon, it's really, one coping tool for all of us.
Yeah.
No?
Ito, laughter is a coping kasi pag meron ngang yung di ba? Laughter coach, di ba? Kasi pag tumatawa ka,
serotonin.
nag-release yung mga positive hormones.
Yes.
Diba?
Yeah. So,
and malayo kang sa sakit, sabi nila, di ba?
Yes.
Malayo ka sa sakit. So, yun.
Actually, when I think about it, sabi nila, the higher the stress levels, the more prone you are to cancer.
Wow. Kasi ano nangyari? Ano nangyari sa body natin?
I don't know.
But
that's how it is. It's
common
really
sense, no?
It's really the stress hormones, no? So, Yeah. So mas prone ka talaga to cancer, 'di ba? So I heard that. I heard that from Tish.
Pero toxic tama, no? Toxins kasi yan
Yeah.
So yun yung mo, no, sa body mo, tama.
Yeah. So these things we really need to learn, no, self-compassion, no, and it does not, it does not come easy. It comes with practice.
Yep.
Okay. And again, we can make mistakes, but again, let's just be kinder lang to ourselves.
And no, I believe kaya nga mention namin kanina sila ni Coach Jerry. It's dapat pag mag-share
sample
din.
Kasi yun
mag-share ka, di ba? Baka may effective na ginagawa siya.
Sa industry pa namin, it's called best practice sharing.
Di ba?
So, yeah.
Kasi doon sa mga dogs kanina, sabi niya, wala na yung amoy. Anong ginawa mo paglinis? Sabi ko, ito yung sikreto. Gagawin na naman niya yun. So yun, stressful kasi paglabas mo, sama ng amoy. Diba? Totoo yan, simple lang. Pero di ba, may mga ginagawa ka na will help you, mawala yung mga stressors mo. Right.
All right. So just in summary, it's all about self-compassion. It's all about, number one, accepting yourself, being human, knowing that you can make mistakes. You are not perfect. All right. And then
I'm only human.
And so therefore you won't be so hard on yourself. All right. It's also knowing that you are not alone, suffering, you are not alone failing. So meron ding ibang ganyan, So hindi lang ikaw ang naghihirap being a parent, Okay? Others also have difficult children,
Yes.
no? Others, there's no perfect setup actually talaga. So by knowing that, it makes the burden less heavy. Okay? And then, of course, third is mindfulness, no? Being more aware of how you react, how you are feeling, how you are thinking, no? Amidst all these challenges that you have.
Yeah.
Versus negating it or actually over maximizing it.
Yeah. Sabi nga ni Coach sa negating, no? May bago kasing word ngayon, love, yung navigating. Negating versus navigating. So yun na nga, you have to navigate your way.
Through your feelings.
Yeah, your feelings. Kasi alam mo na pag banggain mo to, wala ka talagang, di ba? Loser at the end ka eh. Lose-win situation. So dapat win-lose or win-win. Di ba? Dapat manalo ka. So you have to navigate your way. Alam mo na pag dito ka, babangga at babangga ka eh. Di ba? So iwas ka lang.
Yes.
Iwas ka lang. Be a water, sabi nga nila eh. Di ba? Pag may ilag lang.
Yep.
Ilag lang.
Dad, you have something there, yung acronym mo. Your favorite acronyms.
Kasi actually, naano na natin to, kana take up na. But again, just to to remind us yung pag mga pag may mga may mga struggles sa buhay natin, no? Remember
to
natin,
practice self-compassion.
Compassion is may acronym, yung RAIN, no?
Rain.
Di ba? Ulan.
Rain.
Di ba? Ulan. Sabi nga again ni Coach Jerry, paglabas namin doon sa workshop kanina, umuulan. Sabi niya, yan ang paborito ko, yung nagda-drive ako na umuulan. Grabe Sabi ko, okay, so ang una is R, is an acronym, recognize. Kaya yan sinasabi ni Coach kanina, mindfulness yan eh. No? Recognize your thoughts and emotions. No? Yan. Accept. Okay, and yan, ang A is allow. I-allow mo. Huwag mong labanan. Minsan kasi pag nandyan na, di ba, na-recognize mo, i-label mo, galit ako ngayon. Huwag mong, hindi ako galit.
Hindi ako galit.
I-recognize mo talaga siya. But,
I hear that statement many times. Huwag ko na suko.
Diba? Okay. I-allow mo siya. No? I-allow mo siya. Then, i-investigate mo siya.
Investigate that feeling.
Yeah, feeling. Okay. Yun ba nga, Bakit?
Anong trigger ko?
Anong trigger ko? And yung N is yun, you nurture yourself. Huwag mong kalimutan. Triggers lang yan. Ang mas importante is yourself. Dapat you have to nurture ka agad. Okay? Protect yourself. Okay? Alam mo na may may danger. Diba? Imminent danger. So you have nurture ka agad. Kaya nandiyan ang word na nurture.
Okay. So yun ang rain when rain comes to your life.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, when rain comes to your life, no, you
meron ka ding different meaning ng rain.
Yeah. Okay.
So ano yung Dad? Ang recognize.
Yeah,
recognize that you are
allow.
You are having you are experiencing something. Allow yourself to feel. No? And then I investigate what is the trigger, what is going on, how are you going to cope with it, and nurture is taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself. Huwag kalimutan, no? Huwag kalimutan na, no, at the end of the day, it's you. You have to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Alagaan mo yung sarili mo. Ingatan mo po.
Kasi again, no, we go back to why ang self, no? Diba dapat others palagi?
May joke nga dyan, diba? Especially sa mga medyo may edad na. Diba? Kasi mahirap daw hanapin yung mga spare parts ng mga lumang sasakyan. Okay?
Mahal na.
Mahal na. Ang hirap daw hanapin. Kaya you have to take care of ourselves, no? Especially itong mga vintage cars. So, okay, mga vintage na.
Take care of ourselves. And so, we look for many ways to do that.
Yes.
No? And one way is actually self-compassion. Be kind naman to yourself.
Yeah.
No, okay lang magkamali. Okay lang na sometimes you feel pain.
Ako, ang take ko dito, love is, you have to really change your mindset, how you look at self-care and self-compassion. Kasi yun na nga, para may ginagawa, di pamper yourself, para guilty ka eh, no?
Guilty ka. Oo, nagigilty. Kasi ganun talaga eh, na parang, yun na nga eh. Actually, I read earlier, no, what self-compassion is not. Okay? So, usually self-compassion is being mistaken to be self-pity. Hindi po, no? Hindi po. Self-pity is when somebody just is so focused on his problem, sarili lang niya inaiisip niya. 'Di ba? But when you're self-compassionate, you are connecting with others, no? So,
Okay.
'di ba we're saying nga it's a shared experience. So you're also aware na others are also, suffering, others are also having pains and all. No? So, and self-compassion is not about self-indulgence at all. Okay, kasi yung thinking natin when we we mistake it, no, for self-compassion. When we say, I work so hard, I deserve this. That is self-indulgence. Okay? Whereas self-compassion is actually taking care of yourself on the long term. So for example, ang self-indulgence is, I have deprived myself of sweets because I don't want to be fat. That is self-indulgence, no? But when you're self-compassionate, it's actually more on the long term, saying, I will avoid the sweets because it will make me feel healthy. I will be healthy, for the long term.
Yes.
Right? So yan, no? And self-esteem, di ba? We spoke about self-esteem before. Self-esteem is actually how you value yourself. And there's nothing negative about it, right? So how you value yourself. But self-compassion is understanding yourself, no? So there's no need to be better, no?
Accepting
Yourself, no? So ayan, so you don't have to feel better to be able to be better. No, so it's all about just coping lang. No, so yan, those are the things that kasi we confuse self-compassion with a lot of things. All right? So I think we're over time.
Yes.
I spoke too much
very
tonight.
Passionate, no? Kasi ang ganda kasi ng topic. Kaya minsan naghahang ako kasi tumatakbo yung isip ko eh. Kasi kinukunay ko kaagad sa sarili ko. Diba? Am I practicing, self-compassion?
Ako, definitely, I need to learn a lot about self-compassion.
Likewise, no? Okay.
Especially on mindfulness.
So, parting words na tayo.
Yes,
kasi
ikaw,
maghuhugas na naman ako ng pinggan.
Naghihintay yung mga pinggan dyan.
Ikaw rin, yung mga lamada dyan. Nasa stress na kami.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for staying with us tonight.
Yeah, yun sa mga nag-share, no? Thank you very much, no? We learned a lot from you, no? And we are connected with you, right?
And do continue to share. Do continue to share. No, even after the show has gone off, no, but continue to share so that others may learn also, and others can actually also share with us their experience about self-compassion.
Okay, so we like again to invite you next Tuesday, no? And do not forget to always choose family.
Yes.
No? Choose family.
Yeah, and next week it's going to be another episode of Choose Family Chooseday, and we'll see you then.
Okay, so this is Coach Sisoy and this is Coach Senas.
Okay, we'll see you next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you. Bye.